Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Sorry. Good evening to the folks at home. No. We have scheduled a public hearing to amend volunteer tax exemptions. And I'll ask for a motion to open the public hearing.
Motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Justin, would you give a brief explanation of our...
Sure. For a long time now in the code, there have been provisions that offer real property tax exemptions to volunteer firefighters and volunteer ambulance workers if they meet the criteria and have served long enough. Periodically, the state updates their sort of tables on those provisions and the county, and we normally try to keep in lockstep with the county. The most recent changes were an effort to encourage more people to volunteer. So the primary change on this is that members used to have to serve 5 years. Now they can serve 2 years to qualify, and it went to a straight 10% exemption, where before it was capped at a number or 10%. Depending on which was lower. So now it's a straight 10% exemption. So those are the primary changes. They were recommended by your assessor, Gene Tallman, and so that's the local law before you, or preferable.
Is there any public comment? Yes, sir.
Name and all that?
Yeah.
Dave Tonneson, Fort Montgomery. I'm a volunteer fireman. I've been for a while, and
How long is a while?
59 years.
That's what I thought.
I never knew enough to quit.
Okay.
Right now in the United States, there's about a little over 300,000 firefighters. 70% of those are volunteers, and the numbers are declining drastically all over. In Fort Montgomery right now, we're doing pretty good, but that doesn't mean in the future we're not going to do too good. So I would support this in hopes that retention and joining might be something that the public might be interested in. People joining, even if they're not a property owner, over the years, there's been many people that have joined the fire department that became property owners. And to keep them in the fire department so we can keep experienced people, I recommend that this be approved.
Thank you. Thanks, Dave. Anyone else?
Kyle Kellner, Fort Montgomery. So I just joined the Fort Montgomery Fire Department in September. So very happy to serve that community, but this is a great, recruitment and retention tool for future people. It also helps, it's gonna make waking up at 1 a.m. to go on a fire call a little bit easier, but I do it anyways, but this is just a great way to give back to those volunteers. So I am for this.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I'm sorry, go ahead. More public comment?
The fire company in Fort Montgomery, as best I understand, and I'm going to use ballpark numbers, approximately you're allowed by somebody 40 people. You've got 40 people. You've got a great fire company there, absolutely.
All volunteer fire companies go up and down. We're, for the last probably 15, 20 years, we've been doing very well. You probably saw on the sign last year, we responded to over 370 emergencies. When I first joined, 50 to 60 was normal for a year. So the role of the volunteer fire department, all fire departments, has changed dramatically over the years, and the demands on the volunteers is excessive.
Excellent.
Not to be that guy, but the correct numbers is 270. Yeah, just so that we're correct on the numbers, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Still a lot, but just so we're accurate. Yeah, for 2023.
And Captain Gathers, you just came in. This is a public hearing concerning the tax
Volunteer exemptions.
exemptions for volunteers, which you and your group certainly come under that same thing. Do you have anything you'd like to say about it, or?
No doubt. Speaking for Ford, we work very well with them. We did 565 calls last year, which is pretty low. A lot of them are MVAs. We had a couple of our, as you know, our ambulance go out during the flood too, so we're here to serve the community.
Thank you.
I don't know if you remember about a year ago, because I like the Fort Montgomery Fire Department. I'm a former commissioner. I go to their meetings once in a while. About a year ago, they had a meeting on this subject, and we had it in our code, and it was apparent that it needed to be cleaned up, and we're cleaning it up, so that's where we're at.
Any other comment? I'll ask for a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion.
Second.
Do we want a roll call? No, we'll do a roll call when we adopt it. I need a motion to open up a second public hearing, and this would be on exemptions for seniors, disabled, and limited income people. Justin? Oh, wait, I need a motion to open the public hearing. Second by?
Second.
Okay, Justin?
Sure. So similarly, you've always had provision, for a long time now, you've had exemptions in your code for real property taxes for seniors, persons with disabilities and limited income. That income threshold has not been increased in several years. Notwithstanding inflation every year. So the county last year adopted changes to their income threshold schedule. Gene has reviewed those and recommended that the town mirror those income thresholds. It will capture a few more seniors in town, but not a dramatic alteration. It's just to keep the people who have been entitled over the years entitled to this senior exemption. So it updates your income threshold levels to apply for this exemption.
Okay, so, and these exemptions would also be for people with disabilities.
That's correct.
And the people with an income that's below a certain standard.
Right. It's disabilities with a limited income. It's any seniors with that limited income.
Is there any public comment on this? Anyone? I ask for a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Well carried. Thank you. Is there any public comment from the audience here on anything that's on the agenda? The agendas are in the back there, Leslie? Do we have some extra ones?
Right here.
Oh. Anybody have any kind of comment? We have two sessions of public comment. The first session is anything on the agenda, and then when we get to the end of the meeting, we take public comment on anything. Anyone, anything? Okay, then we'll move on with the meeting. I need the approval of the minutes of January 8th meeting.
Motion?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 So carried, thank you. Communications, I really don't have anything. Financial reports, I transferred $138,087 from the consolidated account to the paying account. The money went, some of the larger checks was Edmunds for their government tech annual IT support, which was $12,979. Hometown firefighter service, $42,527 for the service award program. Our legal expenses were $8,332. Engineering, Lankin Tully, $8,769. And Rockland Solid Waste, $14,455. Any questions on our expenses?
No here.
Okay. Board liaison reports. I think we'll start with Councilman Sullivan.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everybody. Everybody knows my song and dance, so here we go. Although Nancy is the liaison now to the ZBA and the Planning Board, she was at school last week, so I attended the ZBA, but I got there late. And they had a public hearing at that meeting, which I don't think anybody related to the public hearing showed up or engaged, so I think they kind of, not closed it, but postponed it until the next meeting. And they set a public hearing for another property right up the road here in Main Street that's been before them before. They're modifying it and going to try again. So that's it for the Zoning Board of Appeals. They meet on the third Wednesday of the month. Note that because in the month of February, the Planning Board will meet before the Zoning Board. It's one of those weird months. Planning Board, I attended the meeting last Thursday, and on the month of December, Bear Mountain Pizza was on the agenda, but they didn't come. They did come to the last meeting, and it was a very good meeting. I believe the Planning Board, Justin can correct me, set a public hearing for their February meeting on the subject of Bear Mountain Pizza doing something, opening their restaurant. They're already back into the building, so they made some proposals on parking, so that would be, I think, on February the 15th, the third Thursday of the month, is a public hearing for Bear Mountain Pizza. And you heard it from Richie Sullivan first. The Citizens Environmental Advisory Committee, we met here on January the 12th. Olga was out of town, so she Zoomed with us. We did a lot of planning. Ellen McConnell and Dan Mausner were here, and Roxana, I don't remember her last name, she lives in Jim Modlin's house, she was part of it. The majority of the meeting was related to Earth Day, which is the 22nd of April, but we'll be celebrating on the 20th, which is Saturday, and we've already booked the library, so we're working on that. See, my friend Chris Muller's over there has an electric car. Maybe he's working with the fire department on getting their first electric fire truck. I don't know how involved you are with all this stuff, but so. Water. I reported a while back that some of the plastic piping in the Corbin Hill plant had broken. And it broke a while back. It broke on Martin Luther King Day of a year ago. It broke when we were flushing hydrants. It's Schedule 80. The vibration is killing it. We're getting rid of it, and we're going to ductile iron. It's just so that's being replaced as we speak, because the vibration is making it happen, and the head pressure is only like 10 PSI. It's ridiculous that they're breaking. Sewer, I got notified by, I hate to say his name, HAU Joe Fung of the DEC, that there was a problem with the DMR for both the month of November and December, and here's what it boils down to. You can't just put a 0, you got to put a 0.0. So I hope we have that all corrected, and part of Fung's last year's report that required us to do is have an alarm at the plant. We have them at the pump stations. So to have an alarm at the plant, the way we're going to go about it is when the standby generator comes on, that lets somebody know that the electric is off. As far as a pipe breaking or something like that, this would just be the best way. And Jimmy's having a lot of trouble getting Verizon to cooperate with him. So I got a little time off this week. That's going to be my focus for tomorrow, is that project. I know Ty is going to talk about the march. It was a pleasure to attend it. I don't want to steal his thunder. The highway, I met with Gary up at the highway department this morning. As I usually do, I'm going to have more documentation the town board can endure. Send it to you, what apparatus we have, what year is on it, the expected life, when it gets used, how often and whatnot. You'll get that probably within a week, and so that we know what direction we're going with different things. On the water, almost all the cellular meters have been changed. And I think there's only 12 left that haven't been changed. And the reason they haven't been changed is most of them are Corbin Hill. We can't get in there. So we're going to try and do the Saturday thing, or we're going to have to be assertive. But other than that, out of the 102 that weren't reading a year ago, we're down to 12. And there's 118 radio reads or somewhere around there. We have the endpoints and the ability to change those out, and we actually have stuff that's guaranteed for a period of time, like a decade. Gary has every reason to believe that'll be done before the end of the year, so our fund balance is moving in the right direction. Water is almost fun. It really is. It's almost fun. In the building department, I read off the annual report for 2023 at the last meeting. I don't know if you heard it. There was like 609 things in the village, 190 down in Fort Montgomery outside the village. I would like to thank Philip for being available when the fire department and emergency services called him in the last month, because we had, I believe, 2 structure fires not too far apart from each other, and he was available 8:30 at night, 2 in the morning, to come do whatever the building inspector does to declare it to be unstable. He was there for that, and he's always shows up. You see him here on Saturdays and Sundays. Just wanted to commend him for being available. The fire commissioners. Like I said, I occasionally attend their meetings. I had previously mentioned that Greg Marr and Donnie Smith were voted in, and they had a meeting recently where they established Mickey Cahill as their chairman, and that's all I got.
Thank you, sir. Councilman King.
Good evening, everyone, and good evening, everyone at home. Just a few notes. First, I want to say, in regards to the disaster preparedness role that I have, we prepared for a snowstorm around January 10th, I think it was. And so the meeting that we had in preparation for that was January 9th. We called together and assembled a meeting of various departments, the highway department in the town, both village and town board members, the police department, the ambulance corps, the fire department, and many others. And so that then led to us trying to improve upon the current policies that were previously in place pre-flood of 2023. So we went back and looked at some of these systems and some of these processes. And so what we're planning to do on January 31st is have another meeting, and then this will expand to even West Point, our partners down the street, the village police who were not there previously. I didn't extend an invitation to them originally, no disrespect to them, but now we have also united with the village police and the village fire department as well. So we're trying to just get everybody, include Bear Mountain, if we can get them. What we're saying is if we're in this area and we have emergency management or disaster preparedness resources, we want to come together as a team. We want to look at things that we do and how we can improve upon those things before the event occurs. That's the whole intention here. And so what I did as a result of looking into these things, I realized that there's some other resources we didn't talk about in July. Or for example, there's such a thing as a disaster preparedness hotline for people who are suffering from some sort of mental health issue, to say the least, right? When you're impacted by a natural or man-made disaster, then it's going to induce stress. and other things. And so there's a 1-800-985-5990 number as it pertains to that and those counseling opportunities if you need it. So we just want the community to know that this is something that we're taking the lessons learned from previous events, and we're looking at these things hard, and we want to just posture ourselves and continue to pray that they never be needed. But it's better to be prepared and not need it than it is to need it and not be prepared. So, more to follow. In regards to my colleague saying that the MLK March, thank you for reminding me, by the way, because I almost forgot. The MLK March on January 15th was a huge success, the 30th annual here in the town of Highlands and the village of Highland Falls specifically. 125 people, if those numbers that I got were right, I can reach out to our illustrious reporter in the back, and she can confirm those numbers. But I'm just saying, the estimation is around 125 people. So nevertheless, it was a great turnout. I mean, community-wide, lots of folks from lots of corners of the town, and more importantly, and more specifically, to the participation this year was like no other. So for example, I just want to say thank you to, of course, our commander of the Legion, Mr. John Flynn, always comes through, and no doubt he came through for us this year. Thank you to him. Ms. Dee Marino, who one of our huge volunteers in the community, Sally Dorsch, and that whole crew. And we had some newcomers, Ms. Avernice Reed, she volunteered to be our MC. We had Dr. Ryan Irby and family. You know, he's a professor over there in West Point, and he's in our community, but his whole family of children came out and participated in this event. I just want to thank them. We had the Yansky family, Mr. Yansky, that I had never heard of until this event, and I can't even believe how that's even possible, because these guys are like stars. They got up there and sang the national anthem and My Country 'Tis of Thee like I've never heard it before, and they're living right here amongst us. So I want to thank those two. And then we had the school district came out in full force. The superintendent of the schools was there. The deputy superintendent of the school district was there. At least one principal was there. I think the elementary school principal, and several of the children from the school district were there. Of course, the James I. O'Neill High School Junior ROTC was incredible. When they post the colors, they did it with pride. They did it with dignity and respect, and quite frankly, I've spent 30 years in the Army, and so they can match up against most Army units. Those young fellas and gals and those young students did a phenomenal job. Thank you to those folks. And to the town board and to the village board, the leadership, the mayor, the supervisor, my colleagues here that were there, those who wanted to be there and that couldn't be there. And then, I mean, just can't say enough about that type of event that brings the community together at large. So it lived up to the dream that Martin Luther King had when he talked about blacks and whites coming together one day. He visioned that, and we experienced it right here in Highland Falls, New York. So thank you to the community.
That is, thank you. It's a tough act to follow.
Yeah. Good luck.
I'm not even going to try it. Well, the act would be easier to follow if I realized people that are watching at home could watch better at home. Working on Channel 23, we bought some new gear. We have a new camera going, but it didn't fix some of the video problems. So we will be, again, working on that. Struggling to find a video engineer that understands this antiquated system, so bear with us. Hopefully very soon we'll have a better picture coming your way. Most likely we're going to start broadcasting these meetings live on YouTube. So, I mean, I know it's the 21st century to say that now, but it's the obvious move. So we'll fix Channel 23, because going back to even reporting on things, and as Ty was talking about, I was away for a friend's daughter's wedding, but I managed to zoom in to Ty. It was a really good meeting about bringing the community people together for the emergency services, and you got to exercise it with that flood that I said when I was gone, I missed 3 snowstorms, a flood. a heroic house explosion with some heroic activity there, from what I understand. So again, congratulations, Tom. I was glad to be part of it. That's it. We'll have an update for you. Like I said, hopefully by next meeting, we'll be simulcasting this live on YouTube, and we'll sort out the other problems, because Channel 23 could also be a great service for emergency times. Somewhere quick where you can tune in, and that's where it's got to be. We have the emergency alert system where either town or village can put out alerts. We should be able to upgrade the video system too, so people have a place to go to. We'll all be looking into it. Hopefully I'll have better news to report in the future. That's it. Thank you.
Councilwoman Scorbett.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody, and good evening, everybody at home. Councilman Sullivan did, in fact, steal my thunder on planning board and zoning board, but I will forgive you, Rich. And otherwise, I was busy at newly elected officials training in Albany last week, so that took up a lot of time, so trying to get up to speed on things. The only update, and I believe that the captain will speak in a little bit, but the ambulance corps is looking for grants to get some turnout gear for some of their new members. But it sounds like, Jeff, will you have something to say during the general comments or during business today? I will leave the rest to you. So that's all I have.
Thank you, ma'am. Kelly, do you have anything?
No, just on the agenda.
Okay. Jeff, do you have anything to talk to us about?
Oh, you want to talk about the ambulance corps and the 2 accidents?
We'll get to that.
Oh.
No, I mean, in general, anything? Nancy alluded to the fact you might have something, but that's okay.
We're looking for grants. Currently, Kristen, the president, is working. I have been in contact with Scofus's office regarding the new ambulance, which is ongoing. They said that they won't be able to do till April. With regards to Lucas, that I said that we needed, and a new power stretcher, if and when we get a new ambulance, they said they would help us with the Lucas and the AED that goes with it. So those are the couple of things that we're talking about. ECAS is also working to get us some grant money for it.
Deputy Chief Burns, would you come up to the microphone, please? I'd like to introduce our new Deputy Chief, who we hired at our last meeting.
Hello, everyone.
Well, hello. Deputy Chief Burns started in the city of Newburgh in 2005 as a patrolman. He moved up to sergeant in 2014. He is now in 2017 until now, he is a lieutenant in the city of Newburgh Police Department. Did you come with any kind of message from the chief, or?
I did not. He actually didn't even know I was coming today. I just happened to be working, and I said, let me come to
I'm glad you
the
came.
board
I'm
meeting
glad you
and start getting into the habit of coming to these meetings. So glad to meet everyone and glad to be a member of the team.
I think we should clap. It's the honeymoon, you know what I mean?
Welcome.
This is a typical meeting. The chief usually comes and sits off on the side there, and then I'll ask him if he has anything to bring to the meeting, or any kind of statistics or anything along that line. So
Great.
just so you know, and once he leaves, it's going to be you.
That's it. I'm ready. He's preparing me well. It's my second day, so we're hitting the ground running.
I will ask you this, and I don't mean to put you under the gun.
No.
Have you started any kind of a move out of there so the building can get repaired?
We have, yes. That's
Yeah.
my plan for Wednesday and Thursday. We have a bunch of stuff that needs to get into those pods, and I'm going to be spending, however many, 8, 9, 10 hours getting all that stuff out of there.
Beautiful. Good. Very good.
We're hopeful that by the start of next week, we'll have all of our stuff out of the building.
Sounds good to me, Deputy Chief. Thank you very much.
So Deputy Chief, real quick, I didn't get a chance to meet you. I was out of town when you got your interview.
That's 2 of us.
But congratulations. I'm the liaison to the police department, if they haven't told you yet.
They have.
So if you need anything, you know where to find me.
Absolutely. We'll exchange numbers at the end of the meeting.
Absolutely.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
I put this on the agenda just so the town board would know that the ambulance corps, the captain cares. One of the drivers has had 2 accidents, not major accidents, but minor accidents. Tried to knock the building down with one of the accidents. But I'm not going to use his name, but I was told that he has been suspended from driving until he's retrained as a driver, so.
If I may clarify something.
Sure.
It wasn't really 2 accidents. There was one, and that's the building. The other one, in Fort Montgomery Fire Department, I want to say thank you to them. It was our MDA, which we go to a lot of, at Long Mountain Circle. Got stuck in the mud. They tried to get him out. We had to tow him out. So it's an incident, if I may.
Yeah.
More than an accident. The second part of that is had a second call in the district, and myself and Christina responded to that, but the ambulance didn't start up, the second ambulance. So we couldn't jump it. We responded in my fly car, went to the call. The driver came, tried to get it started, which he did, but he forgot the lower box cabinet, so to speak. Has 2 batteries in it. They power up the stretcher and some of the lights in the back and everything, our power stretcher. When he drove out, he forgot to close the door. So that in turn hit the bay, the side of the bay. That bay door is okay. In fact, Dutch's overhead doors came. They fixed both of our doors. That's all done. I spoke to A&V today. We got the sensors, the box, the drawer, the sliding handles on it. So all that will be taken care of. The problem we had was that we have a inverter problem, and that inverter charges 386, and that's bad. So we're going to have to get an inverter to keep the ambulance charged up. You have a shoreline that runs to it and keeps everything powered. So the inverter helps with that.
Well, that lady in front of you there, I'm sure she'll find some money for your inverter.
I'm sure she is.
Okay. I mainly brought this up so the town board could know that when things happen there, they're seen by the captain, and he handles them the way they're supposed to be done.
Stuffed it over, sat down with the person, did what we had to do, explained to them CEVO, which is a certified emergency vehicle operator, and that discipline that you just mentioned, so.
Now, this young lady back there on the TV camera is our payroll clerk. She took a test, how long ago?
6 months.
6 months ago. Finally got the results, and she passed the test. She is now officially our payroll clerk. Do we have to do I'll ask for a motion to hire Diva Jimenez as the Town of Highlands payroll clerk at the current salary schedule. And Kelly seems to think there's no need for probation since she's been with us now 6 months.
She's been with us almost 2 years. And
Almost, oh, God.
Time flies.
Yeah, I concur.
Okay, so I'll ask for a motion to hire.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
And that deserves a
And congratulations.
Lankin Tully was here to tell us about what needs to be done in our basement after about the 3rd time in 6 months that it's flooded.
Was a sledgehammer involved?
Yeah, to knock down the wall by the sump pumps. They're recommending 5 or 6 whole house dehumidifiers be placed in the various rooms over the drainage trough so that the dehumidifiers can automatically feed into the drainage trough. That would reduce the humidity. He wants us to get a local electrician to put outlets near these dehumidifiers. And yes, he does want us to knock a hole in the cinder blocks that are blocking the water from getting into Troth.
That situation's a real head shaker, and I remember.
Yeah, we were both standing there with our boots on the water, up to our boots. On the front side of the building, he's recommending that we put a sealant across the lower part of the front of the building to prevent the intrusion of stormwater runoff when it's running down the side of the building foundation and infiltrating through the lower portions of the walls. The drain in the pit outside should be cleared. We're in the process of trying to do that. As you all know, or actually I'm bringing this probably up for the first time, the town board has been discussing our police department and personnel for at least a month now. We've had a number of sessions where we kind of kept it private and talked about it. I think we're at the point now where we've decided that we would probably like to hire 3 full-time police officers. I got some numbers from Kelly. At a certain amount of pay, it will not increase our, well, a couple of things got to be done, but it will not increase our budget, our police budget. There are some things that we'll have to do. Deputy Chief, you can listen to this. Right now, we're authorized 20 part-time police officers. We only have 10 or 11. So what I'd like to see is, I'd like to see us not be funding those empty 10 spots. With the, what really forced me to put this on the agenda. I want the public to know. I want the public to know what we're doing with this. And I want them to understand that we've tried different avenues. And what happens is all of the other avenues, we have to dissolve our police department. If we do that, then that's a one-way road. You're not coming back. We'd be selling all of our equipment, turning over our policing to, well, actually, the sheriff's department said no, the state police said no, the village said yes. So we would be turning it over to the village. Nothing to do with the village, the people that are operating the village or what have you. It's just the consensus of opinion of the town board is that we would rather not do it that way. I think a perfect example of why we need these full-time police officers is, for this month, we had 30 empty shifts where we had no police officer on duty, 30 shifts. What if, when we had that house fire, and our 2 police officers were there within minutes, what if they weren't on? What if we had nobody that night? We probably would have had 3 casualties. We can't have that no more. The people of Fort Montgomery deserve their police department, and I want to see that we do the best to give it to them.
Hear, hear.
Town board, please.
Yeah, I got a comment about it. So want to be clear, when we said that we would, one of the courses of action could be to turn the policing over to the village, we're talking about contracting the village, paying them to police for the town. So I just want to be clear to the public. So you're paying something, whether you're paying for your own force or paying another force to police. So as we looked at all these different courses of action, it appeared to be the best one was to strengthen our own force. And so therefore, the recommendation rose of hiring some full-time people that we then can rely on of being on shift. So I support it, and I agree when I look at it from the liaison position of the police force. I think we need to be stronger. When I look at it from disaster preparedness, the hat that I wear doing that role, well, I can't imagine not having the town of Highlands Police as we are dealing with some sort of natural disaster. Because every time we've had those cases in the past, they've been right there at the forefront. So I want to just encourage the public to know that this is not taken lightly. We've done the due diligence, and I think it's the best course of action.
Anybody else want to comment?
Don't think I could add anything better than that. Thank you, Ty.
Bob, you know, historically, my older brother was a commanding officer at Troop F in Middletown. Oh, back in 1996, there was a meeting at the Ford School. Him and Jimmy O'Donnell came over. That window of opportunity has gone away. To have them here, to have a satellite station, they just don't have the resources anymore. It's a shame because they have SWAT teams, they have helicopters, they have boats, they have a lot of things that would have been available. So that window of opportunity is gone. And with looking at the numbers, and of course we have some people who say we don't need to have an empire. And I got to tell you, Dave was involved. We did a survey about 15 years ago. 6 of us polled the people down there. They like their police department, and I don't think they want them to go away based on that evaluation at that time. And we're going to make it work financially to where hopefully there's no increase. That's what I've seen so far. That looks plausible, and that's my comment.
So what I'm going to ask is ask our attorney to arrange for a meeting with the PBA. And I would like to ask Councilman King and Councilman DeWitt to meet with the PBA. And I'd also like to ask Councilwoman Sporbit, should one of these two not be able to do it, I'd appreciate it if you would take their place. I can't have all 3 of you on there, but that would be a regular meeting. So if you two would handle the job, Councilwoman Sporbit, if you can't make it. And Justin, you're going to arrange to have a meeting with the PBA.
Yeah, we've, council and I have spoken, and they expect some type of proposal from us to get the process started.
Mm-hmm. And not to put it in a bad way, but depending on the cooperation of the PBA, we may be able to pull this off with a $34,000 savings in our budget from the police department. But I need their cooperation, the police department, the PBA.
Yes, and just so the public knows, right, all of this has to be negotiated between the town board and the PBA.
Okay, Justin, you're on again with the resolution, the certiorari, I think.
Yes. So another tax certiorari settlement. This is a property that's been in the news a lot lately. This is the petitioner is Highland Falls Preservation LP. That is a holding company for Wyant Green as federally subsidized housing communities. The way tax assessments and the certiorari's work, they're very restricted to the income that comes into that particular piece of property, and obviously that's limited by the federal regulations. So there's actually been multiple years at issue. This settlement is only for the most recent year, the 2023 tax year. It's a favorable resolution, as although there requires an assessment reduction, they are not seeking any refunds of the payments already made. So in essence, the assessed reduction will only take place in the 24, 25, and 26 tax year rolls. Most tax cert settlements last for the year in question plus 3 years. So this is really just a good resolution with no refund by any of the by the village, by the school, by you all, by the county. It simply sets a new assessed level for years 24, 25, and 26.
Any questions, town board?
No.
I'll ask for a motion to authorize settlement or proceeding under, this proceeding under Article 7 of the Real Property Tax Law for the Highland Falls Preservation LP. Do I have a motion?
Motion?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Sullivan?
Aye.
Councilmember King?
Aye.
Councilmember DeWitt?
Aye.
Councilmember Scorbitt?
Aye.
Supervisor Lindsay?
Aye. Town Board, if you remember at our reorganization meeting, I didn't have the sheet on the contracts that the town is involved with for this coming year. If there's any question, you can bring them up. I put this copy in your box. Yeah, you got it there. Any questions on that?
Not for now.
Okay. Now we have local law number 1, which we just had the public hearing on. And the purpose of this local law is to change the Code of Town of Highlands, volunteer firefighters, volunteer ambulance workers exemptions. Do I have a motion to move the...
Motion.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Sullivan?
Aye.
Councilmember King?
Aye.
Councilmember DeWitt?
Aye.
Councilmember Scorbitt?
Aye.
Supervisor Lindsay?
Aye. And we have the same resolution to amend the senior, disabled, and limited income tax exemptions. We just had the public hearing on it, and I'll ask for a motion to move the resolution.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor? No, time out.
Roll call.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Sullivan?
Aye.
Councilmember King?
Aye.
Councilmember DeWitt?
Aye.
Councilmember Scorbitt?
Aye.
Supervisor Lindsay?
Aye.
Tommy Armstrong was chief of the fire department when I joined back in 1977. I should have stayed.
Okay, public comment on anything. Anything. There's a gentleman by the name of Wayne Facer. He does a lot on Facebook, and he writes a lot of stuff, and you can take it one way or the other. He wrote, as far as I'm concerned, an excellent letter about Spectrum and Channel 23. He put his facts together, come right on out as what he thought about it, and I sent his letter to Spectrum, to the district director or whatever his title is. Wayne hit the nail right on the head with this, and I'll give him credit for that. Anyone else? Public comment? Town board? Anybody? I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you all for joining us.
Thank you.